Hey everyone, and welcome to the SLO City Together Podcast. Back to the basics.
Back to the basics. This is how it all started.
This is how it all started. I say we erase all the episodes Luke has ever been on. Before we start the podcast, can we talk about how Luke said, "Let me go get it set up"?
Yeah.
And then as we were walking in, he said, "You're going to have to use the old board." I said, "Did you set it up?" He said, "No, it's under the table." And then we had to set the camera. So what did he set up?
I don't know. Okay. I think he set our expectations.
Will he listen to this if he's not on it?
No.
I bet he will.
Because he knows we're going to talk about it.
Yeah, he's smarter than that.
Luke is not with us today because he has lost his little voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Him doesn't have a voice today. I feel for him.
I've
been there many times.
Yeah.
It was actually a little validating for me.
Yeah.
To see another worship leader struggle with his voice. Because that was my story.
You know, that's the first time I ever really spent time with Luke was when I lost my voice.
Oh, really?
Leading worship.
At a retreat camp?
I lost it day 1.5, and I couldn't sing the rest of the week. And I was the worship
really
leader.
Bad.
Yeah.
Did he sing?
He did.
Really?
That's how I knew he could lead worship.
Wow.
And he led from bass.
I didn't know he sang that
like
week.
Slingshot, not Slingshot.
Sting?
I said Slingshot 57. Do you know that band? No. That is an
Is
obscure Christian punk scene band. I was thinking Blink-182.
Oh, Mark Hoppus.
Yeah. Who else? What other famous?
Sting, Paul McCartney.
Okay.
Those are the good ones.
Okay.
Other singing bassists.
Luke Lyons.
Luke Lyons.
And Jordan Gallagher. Can you sing and play bass?
No.
No, you think Luke could? I mean, he did.
He can. Yeah. He can sing and play very well. A lot of things. He can play lead. I have to so I'm playing bass this weekend. And
sing?
I make a conscious effort. I'm like, say a few words in the chorus, like when you're just on a whole note. Because it's so hard for me to think rhythmically and also sing at the same time. So.
Yeah. Well, all I have to say, Luke is not with us. We're back to the basics of how the SLO City podcast began, which was me and Jordan together. We were in a white room up on Laurel Lane, starting in the middle of COVID.
This is nicer. This feels professional.
And I know why Luke chooses his seat, because he can see outside.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Could be distracting for you.
It could be, definitely.
So I'll ask the question everybody wants to know about.
Oh.
Tell us about your trip. This is
my extended.
This is the obligatory podcast where we talk about your trip.
Okay. Well, I took a couple trips.
Unless you don't want to.
Took a couple trips in the trip.
Okay.
So I had a little break from June 10th to July 15th, which was a long time. And within that time frame, my family and I took a little family vacation to Hawaii. Yep. Which was amazing. It was kind of a once in a lifetime trip that I think we'll always look back on, and just, I don't know. Our kids are at this age and stage where Keegan's going to be a senior this year, and our kids could experience it well. And I don't know. You just have some of those moments. I don't know. I didn't think going in it was going to be like a moment, but it was one of those moments where it was like, man, we're going to look back on this and be like, do you remember that trip?
Yeah.
And so that was really special. We set no expectations, no responsibilities, no pressure, just were there. And
it was great.
Read, swam, snorkeled, surfed, hiked, ate. Yeah, it was just awesome, man.
Lots of good stuff.
So it was just really good to kind of reconnect as a family and just be together. That's so that was one part of it, which was awesome. We came back. And I don't know, anything I need to go into detail about that?
No, I think that's cool. I think that's cool that your kids are all at the age where it's like everybody could kind of enjoy it in their own way. And
yeah. I mean, you and I know what it's like to go to Anna Maria Island, because my mom had a place in Anna Maria Island.
Correct.
Jordan is my brother-in-law, for those of you who don't know. And we had a free vacation spot, both of us.
Yeah, it was unbelievable.
Yeah. There's nothing like a free vacation spot.
No.
And so Anna Maria was this island that has since Instagram has made it now famous.
It's true.
But it used to be this little beach town, beach vibes, like nothing. It was clean, but it was like beachy. Now it's like all commercialized.
And it was a big like retiree spot. There wasn't like a lot of like young like party scene, anything
and now
like
there's
that.
like golf carts in
Tricked out.
Anna Maria. But Kauai, I would say, gave me old Anna Maria Island vibes.
It's pretty cool.
Because, it's not super commercialized. And yeah, man, it's just like you just got to love being outside and doing simple stuff. And we did. It was awesome.
Wow.
So.
That's great. Then you came back.
We did.
And then lots of stuff happened.
And then lots of stuff. Right before we came back, we had some medical emergencies that Blair, my sister, was dealing with my dad back home. So we were trying to navigate, like, what do we do in that? But when I got back, I don't even remember what happened. Matt Allman was in to preach. And so Matt was a good friend of mine since I was 21, 22.
Yeah.
And, we went up to Big Sur, Cayucas, golfed, caught up, just had time and space.
He's a good guy.
Yeah.
I like him.
He's great.
I haven't seen him since the CPAC.
Oh, yeah, he was there.
He was there.
With Tony. Yeah.
As the last time I saw him.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's not true because he came for the first Sunday.
CPAC stands for Church Planters Assessment Center,
yes.
which we've talked about on this podcast. I don't know how you can search content.
Oh, yeah.
Can you do that?
Well, I think you contact Alex Cohen, ATC. He knows all the timestamps of everything we've
ATC,
said.
yes.
So he'll give you the reference number.
Yeah.
He's our historian. CPAC, Church Planner Assessment Center. But then Matt also came for the launch Sunday. So I guess that's not true.
Yeah.
That's the last time I saw him.
Yeah. So then Jenna and I, all the kids went to camp. We came to church, sent them off. We went to Palm Desert for 3 days, just Jenna and Isla and I. It was 121 when we pulled in, which was incredible. It was crazy. My eyeballs were like melting. And then we got back and I did one more trip with some friends up to Big Sur, did a backpacking trip, a one-night backpacking trip, big hike. Swore to all my friends that I was incapable of getting poison oak.
Oh, and then you got it?
And I got it.
Did you really?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's like there's even some, I don't know if there's some even right here. It just keeps... I've never had it, and it's.
I was going to say, why did you claim?
Because I've never had it.
I claim I can't get poison ivy.
Well, I don't think I've never had poison ivy.
I haven't either,
and I think that's why.
I think they're different.
They are different.
They're fundamentally different.
One is a vine, and
one's
one is
an ivy,
an oak.
One's an oak.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then had to fly back to Kentucky last week. But honestly, the break was like. I can't really, it's hard to explain. I think it was just like, I don't know, waking up. I think it hit me a weekend, like the tiredness hit me.
Oh.
And then I think then it was just like, okay. I didn't realize how much expectation I was putting on myself pre-break, how much to like go and do, like answer, and I think just like some time and space to be, I'm not good at that. And I think I was forced to get good at it. Yeah. And I already miss it. Here I am 3 days back, really in the office. And I'm like, last week was a lot of doing because it was being in Louisville. But, I'm like, how can I do better at that in normal rhythms? So,
yeah, that's hard. And I think like, I think that's the beauty of the break was that like not only do you not have to live up to those expectations, you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
Like you're kind of forced to not. Yeah. So it's like, because I think, for somebody who's, I don't know if it's generational, because I don't sense it in generation below us. Like I think
they're okay with just chilling.
Yeah, I think they're like, cool, I got time off. Awesome.
Yeah.
See ya.
Yeah.
Whereas like I think that maybe ended in our generation.
Yeah.
Of like, I'm off. I should really I'm just gonna do this little now I'm gonna do just one hour.
One more thing.
You're just gonna go for
and
1
then
hour.
I'll sit down.
And it's like it's like I as well, to some extent. I'm good at relaxing sometimes. But I have to be told like you can't. Like, no, you're not.
Well, for me, it's like it's either I'm working on something or I'm numbing out by like watching. It's not true rest.
Yeah.
And so then to like, how do you discover true rest? And that is this, I don't know. I don't know what change. The generational studies are so interesting to see like what impacts each generational like idea or philosophy, or you know what I mean?
It's wild. It's very perceivable though.
Yeah.
But what do they say about us? Like, what would the generations ahead of us say about?
Well, they were.
I don't know. Are we in the same generation? Are we both millennials?
I believe so.
Okay.
I think I'm like.
You're the elder.
I don't
you're
remember.
On the line.
What are the generational lines? Generational lines, Gen X and millennial. I think it's Gen X.
You're Gen X?
Yeah. So.
Darn it.
Hold on.
I want to be Gen X.
Where millennials end and Gen Z. I don't care about Gen Z.
No.
That's after me.
That's the ones we're making fun of. Right?
Yes. Although I will say Gen Z is way more attuned with their like sense of
values,
self maybe, or our feelings, or yeah.
I agree.
We were told 1981 to 1966 is millennials. That's what it says. Gen X is 1965 to 1980. Generally, I don't know. So, are we in the same one? I'm 1983. I was born in 83.
87.
I feel like I'm on the line, but I know that the generations ahead of us would call us kind of lazy, and
but why?
I think that's what every generation does.
Okay. Dang it.
They look at the one below us and say, "You're lazy," and but look at us now. We're like all workaholics.
I know. I'm living into it.
We're all workaholics. We're busy.
Me.
Maybe because they told us we were lazy, and we've been living with that title, and so we're like, I can't be lazy.
I don't know.
Yeah. Now that I'm an adult, I have to like. Maybe that's it. Maybe you live based off of the perception that you were given, one way, for better or worse.
Like you either become super lazy or you.
Yeah. So a lot happened while I was gone.
Yeah.
You want to talk about anything that happened?
What all happened?
I don't know.
What happened?
There's a lot that happened.
I got shingles.
You got No, I wasn't thinking about that, but you brought it up.
I got shingles.
You want to talk about that?
It's stupid. You got shingles too.
I did too. So
I felt stupid. I felt so dumb. I felt so bad. It just messed everything up, and it wasn't even bad.
Yeah.
I barely even felt anything. I just was all swollen.
Why did it mess things up? Just because you felt like you couldn't be around people? You picked me up from the airport. You felt fine with that.
I felt good about that. No, and I would have, because of how mild it was, I would have, it was just tough because I think I'm allowed to say on the podcast that our own Kristen
is with child.
Yes. Kristen O'Block is with child. And that is like one of the populations that you have to be careful around. Yeah. And so like in talking with her, I'm like, okay, you've got stuff in office that needs to be done. It fell on the week that I was preaching. And so it was like, I'll work at the coffee shop. I'll come in. We had an interview. So like I had to come in for a little bit. Yeah. But I just felt like.
At the coffee shop, did you ask people around you, are you pregnant?
Hey, anybody.
Unclean.
Are you elderly? You look elderly. Okay, I can sit here then.
But you had to do all, yeah.
It was a major inconvenience.
I will say, shingles for a younger person is one of those things that when you get it is a little, it's embarrassing.
Yeah.
I wasn't embarrassed for you.
You should be.
But I was embarrassed when I got it at 25, 26, because the only other person that I knew who ever had shingles was like, he was the oldest guy on staff. He was like 75. He had a case of the gout. And he had all
I know a guy with gout and shingles. Yeah, I have the same person. Well, and that's the thing is like everybody's like, oh, you must have been super stressed out. I'm like, no. Yeah. Like this has been a season of low stress in my life.
Yeah.
Like if I would have got shingles, it would have been like 2 or 3 years ago when like we were hustling and doing all. It's like. So I don't know if I was just.
I did feel bad.
Compromised.
I felt responsible.
That was part of my guilt. Is I like Brent's gonna think I'm like back here stressing out. I'm like, no, I'm fine. I think it was because. So here's my best guess. Okay. I got either a stomach virus or food poisoning
in Bethel
in Ohio. And I think it just like weakened my immune system. It was the worst stomach thing I've ever had. And I think maybe that just like triggered something that weakened my immune system enough where it just.
You don't find people get food poisoning from pizza often.
It was a calzone. Oh. It was sausage in the calzone.
Okay.
That was bad. That was bad too. So What else went on here?
I haven't been throw up sick in a long time. So
Really?
I do not. I feel bad for you for that. I really haven't. I haven't been throw up sick.
I kind of like it, but this was bad. This was bad.
What'd you say?
What were you alluding to that happened?
I mean, dude, there was just a lot. I
There was
felt
a
like
lot,
at
yeah.
first it was like, the tragic news of Jake and Kaylee, which I texted him today.
Yeah.
Jake was scheduled to come preach, had a tragedy in their family. He literally just pulled into SLO. He called me that first Saturday night, drove back. We were kind of in okay, I wanted to care for him. I'm praying for him, but also Sunday's tomorrow morning.
Right.
It's 10:30 here. Who's going to do what?
Who's going to preach in the morning?
Which was crazy that Greg just jumped up and did a great job.
That's awesome.
So that I was talking about kind of that.
Yes.
I will say, I was texting Jake today, and he said, I feel so connected to SLO City. He's like, I've gotten so many letters from
That's
people
awesome.
from your church. So good job, everybody. Like, you cared for him and his wife well. I was thinking about the pro presenter shutdowns.
Oh,
and
the screen wouldn't work.
Yeah.
And, technology, man.
Technology.
That was a bummer, but it was
Yeah,
fun.
Yeah.
I like that kind of stuff. I don't
Yeah.
like it, but I like the camaraderie and team dynamic of like
Yeah.
something pivotal doesn't work and you're like,
Yeah.
who cares?
Yeah.
Let's roll with it. So I felt most bad for Matt Ullman because he had a lot of content.
He was
on the
probably
screen
so
that-
proud of his videos that he was going to play. He's like, I worked on this.
He had a picture of his little grandma. Couldn't show it. We had a video of you introducing him. We couldn't show. I was like, do you want to play just the audio? And he's like, no. I think that'd be weird.
He said he came in and he was like, well, at least you have a TV on stage. I was like, no, we don't. We don't have a TV.
No. Not
Yeah.
at all. Yeah, that was
Art-
wild.
I would say technology breaks down often, but at a higher percentage in this building.
yeah.
Yeah. So just how it was built, I would not suggest for any entity, any church, anywhere.
It's just so weird. It's so weird here. And like, but there are beautiful things about leasing a space.
Mm-hmm.
There are challenges. One
There
of
are
the
challenges.
challenges is
You have no control.
there's the company that installed all the technology. They don't want to work on a Sunday.
No.
And we don't have any contract with them.
Nope.
It was between the people who own this. And so we're like, hey, we have a major disaster. And they're like, man, that sounds tough. Call us tomorrow.
Call us
And it's
tomorrow.
like, oh man.
Call us tomorrow, and we might bill the owner of the building, but we
Right.
know they're not going to get paid for that. So. Anyway,
So
yeah, and then
okay.
the assassination attempt was
Wow.
in the middle of that too, which I was just like,
Yeah, let's
whoa.
turn to politics.
Yeah,
for the
let's
last
just talk
10 or
about-
12 minutes.
And then
here.
since then, it's just been crazy,
it has been crazy.
crazy.
What are your
I don't know if I want what.
pastoral thoughts?
Oh, I would say, cooler heads must prevail.
Yeah.
It is chaotic. It is confusing. It hits at every probably sense of lack of control, and I don't know. There's a lot of things. Everybody's triggered on both sides, and I never anticipated this. I literally made a comment, maybe even on this podcast. I feel
Really?
like this cycle is going to be it'll be way more calm than 4 years ago. And
That's what you said?
I did to someone. I
Wow.
don't know on the podcast or off, and then all that happened.
That's a
and
bad hot take.
Oh
that
my
didn't age well.
goodness, no, it didn't. And so, pastoral. You asked for my pastoral advice.
Yeah.
We were talking about yesterday at lunch. I mean, I just think a sense of, and kind of honestly, what I shared on Sunday is like, I think the world needs for you to know who you are, you to know who you are,
Yeah.
and you to serve your neighbor and care for your city and be a follower of Jesus in this politically charged climate. I would say don't fall prey to political idolatry, and keep a cool head.
Yeah.
Be informed, but also have a perspective that is beyond the immediate, which is tough because I do think some people are scared into thinking that if one side is in or the other side, that really everything falls apart one way or another. And I don't know. It's tough. Keegan and I have had a lot of conversations about it because he's really interested this year, and it's interesting to talk to him about it because I don't know.
He won't be able to vote.
No.
Like, oh wow.
I know, it'd be crazy. So I don't know if that's advice.
Sure.
Outside of read Jesus, spend time with Jesus, I would say, don't burn bridges with people over stuff that we can't control.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things that we can't control. I know we have this like guise of control, I don't know.
I had, this is maybe a diversion, but maybe not.
Probably good to divert.
No. Well, no, it's not it's only going to make things worse. This was the most I've ever identified with the story of Jonah, where he doesn't want to go.
Just get out.
Was that morning after the assassination attempt?
Oh yeah.
And it's like, we have to say something.
Yeah.
And I was like,
nope.
I don't want to do this. Like deep down, I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
What do you like? And it's everything. It's like the divide, and it's like, how is what I say going to be taken?
Exactly.
Or like, how do you say just the right thing without making people think you're saying something coded one way or and I'm like, I can't do this. I'm not going to be able to do this. So,
you did a great job.
Well, thank you. I don't know that I did, but that was a real challenge. That was a real challenge of heart and mind to go like, because I'm like, what do I think about what just happened?
Yeah, I know.
What's going on? How do I feel about all this? Like, am I scared? Am I anxious? Am I like, I don't know. So that was an interesting thing that I wasn't expecting on the last day before you returned. I'm like, man, Brent could have done this.
No, I was here. You did a great job. I came to church. But I think, just how much culturally and politically has changed is just fascinating.
Yeah.
And it has, I don't know what it is about the political like season in America. Maybe it's like this everywhere, but I just feel like it's a vortex and it just pulls everything. Like it just demands all attention, all passion, and I don't know. I have to be careful against that because I can just like be stuck in a news cycle or watch something or read something to a depth that I like almost like an unhealthy degree of like, what am I doing? What am I doing with my time? Like I don't know. Like I'm going to vote. You're going to vote. Like we're all going to vote, and and we'll see where it goes, like as followers of Jesus. I mean, we were talking, I loved what Haley shared, our worship intern shared yesterday about 1 Peter. I think it was, I basically love your neighbor and honor the emperor, and like pray for government, and God sets people in power and removes people from power. And I'm not scapegoating God there. I'm just saying like that, there's going to be empires rise and fall.
There's going to be ebbs and flows of quality and morality of leadership even. And
and history kind of repeats itself, and I think we see that. And yet when history changes, or when history repeats itself and things change in our present, how do we have a presence about us that withstands any change, or any threat?
Yeah.
I mean, we played out one of the scenarios. Let's say that it becomes a law that, let's just use gender as an example, that you can no longer claim a gender. Let's just say that. Let's go like extreme. 20 years from now, there's no gender in America.
Okay.
Everybody's non-binary or whatever. And I was talking to Keegan about this, and I'm like, let's just play that out. Like, what does that change about you?
Yeah. Anything?
Like, I was like, well, like as a follower of Jesus, you are a young man, a much loved son of God, who knows who he is, who has been raised up to know Jesus, to follow Jesus, to trust Jesus, to love your neighbor who is like you and not like you. I was like, does that make it difficult? Probably. And does it make it like some of your identity maybe not popular or not widely
Yeah.
understood or accepted? Yes. And that is the very place that that much of church history has been.
Yeah.
Of like, this is countercultural, but it is a counterculture that is radically loving, radically welcoming, radically serving, despite being radically persecuted. And I think we've gotten to such a place of comfort and prosperity in the church that any sense of like losing a little bit of footing and comfort makes us like lash out and become uber politically charged and politically idolatrous. And so I was just like saying like, hey, this is like, I don't want the culture to go certain ways. I don't. Like, I want the culture to become more like Jesus. I want our society to be more like Acts 2. I want, so, but I can't trust the government to do that if the church isn't doing that.
Yeah.
I can't trust the government even if the church is doing that. It's the church's job to start those.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's not a government to police
No.
our values
Or
and
our morality.
Yeah.
Well, although we're trying to do that because we don't want to just raise
Correct.
up our families to, anyways.
And I guess like, and I think what's healthy thought experiment for me in that is like, okay, you fast forward 20 years and it's different. And I find myself in this minority. It's like, okay, now snap back to today and think about minorities.
Yeah.
Gender minorities,
Right.
sexual orientation minorities who are feeling that like, oh my gosh, my values are just not in line with the cultural norm or whatever. And it's like, yeah, we can use government to make things comfortable for us, but then it just necessarily makes things the opposite for somebody else, and it's like, okay, so it's not the answer.
Yeah.
to expect the government to like fit everybody's
mold or everybody's
mold of like, so it's like, okay, so then we can't look to the government to fix all that.
We can't look for the government to be our Messiah,
to
be our Lord and Savior.
It's got to be something else. Okay, and then I can not feel as angry.
And that's what is scary about some of this is that there are entities that are Lord and Savior.
Yeah.
To people of like I don't know. So I get how people are struggling financially. And I understand, like, I want gas prices to drop. I want food to drop. I want food to be affordable. I think there are a lot of people struggling and living in poverty. I think and so I go, I want that to happen. It'd be easy if I could just vote for one person and all of that stuff just gets fixed. Yeah. But the responsibility for the Christ follower is to, in your little world, in your little neighborhood, you bring economic development and health and I don't know, you know what I mean? And like to help people get out of I mean, it's complicated, but what if we literally said like, oh no, we are the light of the world. We are the salt of the earth. We are I don't know.
Yeah.
Wow. But it's easier just to vote.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, let's just let somebody else do it.
So anyways, that was crazy to see all that and to think about that and where we're going. I'm excited about that series that we're doing.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
Called Voice of Reason. And we got a lot of exciting things coming up. A lot of new hires. We're going to have a full team for the first time. Knock on something. For the first time in the history of SLO City Church.
Yeah.
Would you say that? Maybe not the history of
Well, yeah, I mean,
I feel like we've always been behind.
Yes.
We've always outgrown maybe our team need.
Yes. So for the first time, it may feel properly equipped.
Yes.
In terms of manpower.
So Andrew Isaacs.
I'm excited.
Has accepted the executive pastor position. It's awesome. Originally from San Jose.
Okay.
No, his family's from, they've been from Charlotte. His wife is from AG. They live in AG right now. He's going to be great. Tatum Miller and his new wife, Bailey. Community pastor.
Man.
Jacob Holcomb, young guy at a Riverside by way of Portland, Oregon.
Yeah. I like all of them.
Do you?
A good deal.
Good.
Yeah. Did you leave?
I had interviewed Jacob a couple times, and then he came in the 30th, I think.
Did I tell you the one interview we walked in that I thought it was Jacob, but it was somebody else?
No.
I'll tell you after. I was so confused.
I remember.
Yeah,
I remember.
like-
You're like, I walked in and I did not know this was for an executive pastor position.
Right? I'm like,
Is this the student guy? Yeah.
I feel weird about this. I don't think this guy's going to do a good
That
job.
was a funny one.
But
Yeah.
yes, I'm excited about all of them. I've had varying amounts of involvement in each of the processes, and it's been cool to like.
I think you carry a perspective that very few people. I mean, you carry the church's perspective, but you also carry a staff perspective that is so valued.
Yeah.
So
Thanks. I carry it.
you
carry
do.
it with
You carry it
dignity,
well.
to the best of my ability.
Are you tired?
No,
Okay.
I'm not.
Wednesdays are weird because getting up early. I'm still like in this weird. I was in Hawaii, which is
more
3 hours one way. I was in
Crazy.
Kentucky, which is 3 hours the other way. And now this week I'm like,
right in the middle.
I just don't, well, I wish I was in the middle because I would be home, but I just feel disoriented.
Yeah.
So
Time change is hard.
yeah,
Not for me,
Anyway.
but for my wife. Okay.
not for you.
I do very well with time change.
Anything else?
You wouldn't believe how good I do with time change.
I believe it.
Okay. No, I don't think there's anything else.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
I'm out of
You're out.
ideas.
Okay. Luke might be back next week, depending on his little voice.
We're gonna let that little fella. He's gonna interview Isaiah, I think.
Oh, he didn't want us here for that.
Well, I think we were kind of supposed to do it, and then neither of us committed to, and so then we didn't tell Isaiah.
He's got Isaiah. Jenna is still left.
Hannah, is that it?
That's it. And then the new crew.
The new crew.
They get
I'd
in.
like to interview them.
I don't
I'd
think
like to
Luke
grill
should
them.
not be a part of that.
I'd really
He
like.
can sit here, but he can just.
He doesn't
say-
talk.
He can just look at us.
He's the engineer.
Yeah.
He actually has to set it up next time. I feel like I deserve a fraction of his paycheck this week.
If you're still listening, we're in a series called Unchanging. This week we're talking about truth, which is good.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that.
It'd be awesome.
And then our 5-year anniversary is coming up on September 8th, which is happy anniversary to you.
What's that mean?
I mean, you were there 5 years ago.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
To us, happy anniversary.
Yeah, to us.
And then, before that, we've got a worship night, Meals for Hope meal packing event, Start Here lunch, groups start in mid-September. We're pushing towards the fall. We've got probably some service changes, additions, subtractions,
Gonna have
maybe.
to.
What if we just did one service?
One service.
One
yeah.
service.
I think that would work well.
Yeah, and then we'll keep moving.
Yeah.
It's gonna be good.
Okay, we're excited. We'll see all of you soon.
All right, see you soon.
Okay.
Okay.
Peace. Bye.